Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing? I am so very, very tired. Wait a second. What are you doing with it? Come here. Oh no. Oh no. Stop breaking. 1 second, chat. I fixed it, I fixed it, I fixed it. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Sombrinas. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome to the stream. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I stole it from somebody when I was a very young child, and now that person has no voice, and I have a better voice by two. Good morning, Shay. Mwah. First off, thank you, Vanya, for getting first. Thank you, known as Sub, for getting second. Thank you, Maka, for getting third. Good morning, Emma. Emma, Sleepy123, welcome back, welcome back. How was your vacation in Cuba? I hope it went well. Thank you for the follow. And Shay, good bunny. Such a good bunny. Good morning, Dar. How are you doing this morning? Oh, I am so sleepy. I'm drinking a little coffee this morning to try to wake me up, but I am so tired. I think I had a nightmare last night about something. Good morning, Lily. It says cough, actually. What says cough? What says cough? Huh? I'm so confused. Oh, sorry. You're right. Shay. Good. Good. There you go. This morning it's 3:43 a.m., which I think is when I normally start. It just feels earlier, you know? I woke up this morning trying to convince myself this is when I normally wake up. I also woke up and was trying to talk to my Alexa, and I'm like, Alexa, what time is it? When is my next alarm? And Alexa's like, I don't know what you're saying. I'm saying, when's my next alarm? And Alexa's just like, I don't know what you're saying. I'm like, come on, Alexa, please, when's my next alarm? Says, if you want to unlock premium features, please choose to purchase the premium upgrade. I'm like, what do you mean, unlock the premium features? It's my alarm. Why won't you tell me? So by that time, I woke up too much, so I've gotten a lot less sleep than I wanted to. Why am I up so early? I'm always up this early. I always wake up at this time. I wake up at 3 a.m. every day. Stream from 3 to 5:30. Then we do a second stream at 4 to 6. But reminder chat, there will be no evening streams. And after Wednesday, all of my morning streams will be just chatting because I will be on vacation. We just want to keep that stream streak alive. Speaking of chat, we are on 36 days of streaming every single day. The goal, I want to get 365 days. I want to get 365 days. If I can knock out 1 year streaming every day, then we're good. Lily, why'd you get so little sleep? What's up? And good morning, Mitchie. How are you doing? Hi, Pinky. Hello, my favorite little Frankie. Oh, coffee is so good. God, I love some coffee. Okay, this morning, I want to play Stalker 2. I haven't played Stalker 2. I've played Stalker 1. Actually, chat, here, let me give you a little bit of run back on this. It was too hot? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Back in the day, when I was a fresh upcoming streamer, when I wasn't a VTuber, the guys who made Stalker DM'd me on Twitter and be like, "Hey, we want you to play the new Stalker, like the old Stalker games, and make like a YouTube video on it." And I'm like, that's sure, I can do that. And so I played all the Stalker games, and I never made a YouTube video out of it. I still want to do that. I still want to go back and play the old Stalker games again and make a YouTube video on it, because technically I owe them. But they gave me the games for free. So I feel like I want to play the new Stalkers and see how it goes. I don't know what it's like. I haven't looked up anything about it. But it looks like it'd be a lot of fun, you know? I'm going to mute while I eat my sandwich a little bit. Yeah. It's S.T.A.L.K.E.R with periods in between it. Not Stalker that way. It's about the exclusion zone, which is like the location in Chernobyl that you're supposed to avoid. 1 second. S.T. Anyways, like the idea is that there's like the zone where like there's all that fallout. Good morning, Zero. And instead of only being radioactive, it is also deadly with magic, deadly magic. So yes. Not really magic, more like an anomaly, but still, I think it sounds cool. Oh, I'm so tired. I don't want to go to work today. Chat, do you want to go to work for me? Does anybody want to do my job for me so I don't have to do it? Please? Zero, do you want to go to work for me, please? Good morning, Bubba Goose. Oh, come on, Dark. Come on, can you do my job for me, please? I will also willingly take $600 if somebody wants to give me $600 and I don't have to go to work today. Good morning, Maka. What are you up to? That's fair, that's fair. I'm also low on money. I'm currently in that lovely period in the month where it's like all of my bills get taken out, but none of my money gets paid. That's where I am right now. Okay, let's do gaming. Gaming. We're supposed to have funny. We are supposed to have funny. All right, where is game capture? Stalker. You let me know if the game's too loud, okay? What'd you find funny? I know. Gaming. Exactly. Oh, not compiling shaders. Oh, I hate compiling shaders. Why is this a thing that all games do now? Like, why aren't my shaders pre-compiled? What does this mean? What are shaders? Gonna eat some more of my sandwich. I'm gonna meet. That too. I mean, like, I know it's supposed to be faster now, but I'm like, can't y'all just do it once? What are we doing? No. What'd you find funny, Maka? Maka, tell me about your funny. We're just gonna exist here for a while, chat. I hope you enjoy existing, because we're gonna have to exist. Good morning, Aura Shark. You're also shark. You're a beach bum. Mm-hmm. Wait, Gene, I need to yell at you? Okay. Bye, chat. Why are you yelling at me? What do you want? Why are we yelling? Nix. 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 What do you mean, Nix? Nix. Oh, you call Aura Nix? Interesting. Yes, 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 I do. I do. I left. No way, Vanya. Wait, did you get my viral one? Did you get my viral one? My OG? DM me what it was. DM me what it was. Mwah. All right, chat. While this loads, do you know what you can do? You can listen to my my thing. You ready? You ready to listen to my thing? Demo reel. Let's go. I don't think I'm gonna make it. My legs hurt. Even my brain hurts.
Reversing the polarity will cause a cataclysmic reaction of... turn the dials right. Make device go boom.
I thought I'd left you dead in the desert. I mean, haunted by ghosts, ain't I? I guess I deserve it.
Good evening, fellow Mad Cats. DJ Fang is ready to spin more records. Coming up next, 12 commercials back to back. My favorite.
You made it. I didn't think you'd come. No one else has. Still, you seriously made my day. We are not taking any more party members. Wait, are you wearing a dead possum as a scarf?
Nah, she ain't dead. She's just scared. The poor sweetie pie.
Please, take a seat. Right here, by my side.
Where you can't get away so easily.
I am Nerd. Hear me roar. I can't really roar that well, but I'm trying, okay?
Well, that's what the last guy thought. And you don't want to know what happened to him. Do not be blinded by fear, my child. Embrace it. Welcome it. Let it pass. Remember, only you shall remain in the end.
What do you mean in your nightmares? That's crazy. That's crazy. Thank you. I'll shoot. Good morning, Lala, the little alien. It's been so very, very long. Crazy. Crazy. It's because you hate me. Good morning, Gothic Sweets. Mwah. How you doing today? That one is crazy. I want to play it, but I don't want to play it. I know. Wait, you sent me, Maka? I don't see you sending me. Where'd you send it? Oh, on the thingy? I do not. Good morning, Lauren. How you doing? We'll do Stalker. You left my... Oh, we have to send it again. Good morning, Lauren. Lauren's a fantastic artist. Chat. Go find them. They're doing commissions. Go commission them. Shay, you have a lovely voice. I hope you know that. You're so kind, sweet. You're lovely to watch when you stream, and you just have such an incredible energy about you, Shay. Little bunny. You are definitely a good friend of mine, and I really, really appreciate that I've gotten to slowly know you over time. I appreciate you so very, very much. You only deserve success in this world, and I hope you never forget that. Mwah. That's funny, Mark. I like that.
Last question, Dr. Dalek. Are you sure the perimeter surround?
The zone has remained stable for years. Besides, we didn't establish the most advanced institution in human history without first guaranteeing its safety. As the head of the Scientific Institute for
All right, enjoy your
Research of the
lurk.
Chernobyl
And yes, I do want to live in your closet. I think it'd be funny.
for short, I believe the wonders that we will bring
No,
to the
little
world
alien. What are you gonna do?
far
What are you doing,
outweigh the
little alien?
potential risks.
How big are these risks exactly?
The
No,
zone
how dare
reveals
you.
a whole new world. We can stick with the old one, fearing change. But tell me, do you want our
dare
descendants
you.
to remember us as cowards? Or as those who dared to venture forward to a new, better humanity?
Oh, I know what's happening, chat.
The injured were evacuated. I remind our listeners that a similar incident happened in our region quite recently, ruining homes and livelihoods.
That's fair. That's fair.
City officials
Bye,
urge
little
people
alien,
to
it's
stay
okay.
calm, assuring them the situation is totally under control.
You alive back there?
I'm okay.
Zone is really raging today. See that? It was a hell of a blast. Can't remember one so fierce.
Are we, close?
Kind of. The central checkpoint could be on alert after the emission, but there's another way in. Crack in the wall to the left of the fault. Bugger off! Hope you didn't lose your secret artifact along the way. If it was outside the zone for too long, it would have lost its anomalous energy. But I've got this shiny metal thing to recharge it. One lucky activation and we have...
I love a shiny metal thing.
Visual detection of the vault. I say again, Sector 9 visual detection of the vault.
I want this to go through so that I can pause because I have to fix the setting. But, like, it's so frustrating. Come on. Come on.
What the hell is this? I've seen artifacts taken from the zone before. They always burn out and fall apart real fast.
Mm-hmm.
But this one?
This one is not from the zone.
Oh, I bet. Where'd you find it?
In my laundry basket.
Should I recognize this voice? I recognize this guy's voice. Oh, I haven't played Death Stranding, by the way, Gothic. I do want to play it. It looks cool.
You have any idea what this is gonna cost me? If it's not an artifact, it's gonna blow us all to hell! I won't let my hard work come to nothing because of you. I won't let you push it down the shit.
This stone
Bunani. Bunani.
gives me a new
Bunani. Bunai. No, bun. Ui. Bun ui? Bun ui. Sorry. I'm just trying to figure out how you pronounce it. B-N-U-U-Y. Bun. Bun ui. Bun ui.
Get to the scientist bunker. Nehoda will explain how to proceed with the scanner.
Bun ui.
He's waiting for you.
Bun ui.
Good luck.
Okay. Finally. Get yourself there. Yay. Hey, yo, it's me. I'm back in the house. I'm the guy back in his house. Anyways, 1 second. Well, come on. Come on, game. 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 Yes! Finally. Okay. Unfortunately, this game realizes that I have an amazing PC that's so amazing and epic that it's like, you know what we need to do? We need to max out all of your settings. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? No. Frame control. Wait, where's... Oh, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Oh, don't do this to me. There, it's got to be here. It has to be here. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? No, please tell me that they have something. So what we're looking for right now, chat, is the hertz. The hertz donut. Because it's probably set at 144 or 200 some hertz, which is great and all. But, you love Bunny? Bro struggling already. Oh, come on. Hey, chat, do you want a Hertz donut? Thank you for the stretch. Thank you for the hydrate. Good morning, Pink. How you doing today? That's so lame. Hi. I go to uni today. Oh, that's going to be fun. I wish you the best of luck, okay? Fine. I guess we'll just deal with what we have right now, Chad. It'll be fine. It'll be fine, right? It'll be fine. I believe in us. Okay, I'm going to grab water really quickly. I don't want to dehydrate here. So you all behave yourself while I grab water, and then we'll start the game, okay? Okay? Mwah! Mwah. Take a look at my girlfriend. She's the only one I got. Not a bunch of girlfriends. Why are you burning my walls down? You're supposed to be going to sleep. Oh, I know what happened. I did mute. I accidentally unmuted when I muted. Never seem to get a lot. Take a gander across the water. Let you see America. Ba-ba-bum-bum, ba-ba-bum-bum, bum-ba-dum-ba-dum-bum. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-da-bum. Ah, so good. Okay. Here we go, chat.
Give me a sit rep. Perimeter breached. Extensive damage caused by... Fuck knows what. Copy that. Dispatching a response team.
Oh, this looks so cool. This looks so cool. Not something that we talk about on stream, Sombrina. That is against TOS. Why the fuck is America gate-giving Pop-Tarts from me? Because you don't deserve Pop-Tarts. I mean, you do deserve Pop-Tarts. I'll send you some Pop-Tarts. Also, as in the interest of my own safety, I tend not to talk about it. What's going on here? What the huh? Huh? Why are you magic? Get the chocolate chip. Why are you magic? Oh, sorry, this is S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2. It is a fun little sci-fi game about surviving in the Chernobyl exclusion zone. Chocolate chip of the best. Delicious, delicious sewer water. Chat, you know what I'll do? Actually, that would be a real thing I could do. What happened to S.T.A.L.K.E.R? I played S.T.A.L.K.E.R 1 a long time ago. You're not missing much. Actually, I think going into this, it might be a little bit nicer not to know about S.T.A.L.K.E.R 1. Sorry, what I was thinking is, chat, what we could do is I could make a kit of food. Of like you know, American foods. And if there's not a insane inflation rate where you are all are, I could send food to people. Of like crazy snacks and stuff. What do you think, chat? Yeah, of course I am, but goose. We can make a Gene's favorite snacks box. Right. You may die like a poor Victorian child. Sounds good, sounds good. Oh no. Ooh, it's a gun. No. Oh, yeah, ha. Give. Open PDA. This game, okay, so basically, do you all know what Chernobyl is? Good morning, I simp for hotties. How you doing? Immigration got hungry. It's true. Oh, then I would have to see like what I could actually send you. I would make sure that the place I send it can do it. So this game, do you know what Chernobyl is? How many of you know what Chernobyl is? Oh, went the wrong way. Shit. You could, yeah, I mean, TikTok would work. Or you can also send me on Twitter. Where's his gun? Twitter, real LuckyJene. And chat, you might be wondering, hey Gene, why is your account named Real LuckyJene and not just LuckyJene? Well, you see, before I made my account, I went on to Twitter and I made my Twitter account. And then I took a little while to start VTubing. Well, unfortunately, Elon Musk didn't like that. And he's like, you're trying to protect this name. You're not allowed on here. And so he kicked me off of Twitter. So my old account that I'd never used got banned because I never used it. Hello. Mwah. No, that's Pompeii. Gothic sweats, that's Pompeii. I'm talking about Chernobyl, the one with the a power facility that, you know, exploded because they weren't managing it properly. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. So basically, imagine that it exploded, but not only did it explode and make radiation, but it also made weird magic. I give up bottom vibes. I'm a switch, so that's fair enough. Chat, ain't nothing wrong with bottoming. You can do both. I can be your boy toy. I can be your something. I can be both. 1 second, chat. Give me a second. We're gonna listen to a song. I can do both. Yeah, I don't like Blue Sky. Oh, shit. Ah, where'd he go? Where is he? Anyways. Yeah, it's called being a brat. But it's okay, Vonnie. We already knew this. Baby girl. Uh-huh. Says the brat. Yeah. This is actually really fucking sick, chat. This is so cool. I'm gonna be honest. I was not expecting this to be cool. I took soda somehow. I was kind of thinking this was gonna be like, it was gonna be okay. But holy shiz. It's like, okay, sorry, I'm taking a little bit, my brain is not functioning right. When I played this game the first time, the original S.T.A.L.K.E.R had been out for a long. Are we taking radiation? A long time, basically. And so, like, the quality was already reduced, right? But, I mean, the game was still really well made. It was a good game, and they did very well with it. So it's still enjoyable. But, like, no, my mod. No. I mean, you can borrow my mod. Vanya. Lovely. Wear protection. Come back before the lights turn on. And you be safe, okay, sweetie? Mwah. Oh, hi, Cookie. Mwah. Thank you for the stretch. But yes. I mean, like, okay, so the original game had so many limitations, okay? Had so many limitations. Like I'm trying to think, but I keep looking at everything. Everything's so cool. Okay, yeah. So the game was very limited with what they could do. So instead of having like a big open area, what they did was they had a lot of smaller areas for you to explore, which was really cool. Still like a lot of fun to deal with. But like you could definitely tell like they were mechanically limited. And they still made these really cool features in this big open area, and it felt nice to explore and go through. Well, I haven't hit like a loading screen because you would have to keep going to like clearly gateways to move to the next area. Well, this feels a lot more like seamless, a lot like nicer. Oh, Cookie, what a good little kitten. Such a good little kitty. Chat was in the toilet. Oh, nothing. Since when do I stream? As a VTuber, I've been streaming for about... I don't know actually anymore. But we recently went on hiatus. We just came back. And so I've been streaming for, as you can see the counter over there, 36 days. Or 35 days. Chat, what's the number? I'm not invited, but I'm so funny. I can tell jokes the whole time. 36 days? Yeah, we're on a 36-day streak. Don't you want me to tell jokes? I could tell jokes. I'm some little silly guy. I'm just a little guy. I'm a little guy who's silly. Damage. We're gonna use the second gun. I think the second gun's a little bit nicer. I'm just a little guy. I'm just a little guy on my birthday. You wouldn't hit a little guy on his birthday, would you? But yes. I haven't been streaming for long this second time. So yeah, that's probably why you haven't seen me. I'm also not very popular, chat. All the other VTubers laugh at me because I don't have any of the cool model features. All I can do is this. Okay. Oh. 1 second, chat. There we go. Anyways. Have a good day at work, Shay. Shay, quit your job. Ah, water! Ha 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 ha. I didn't die, chat. I don't know what you're talking about, chat. I didn't die. That was you that died, not me. I didn't throw myself in the water and instantly die because I forgot that I can't swim. I didn't eat myself into the void. Who would do that? Not me. That's crazy. Aha. Radius and water. Come together. We will get there together. Jet, we will be here and we will do the things, alright? Yes. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your... Oh, by the way, Jake, guess who had an audition for a video game? It's me. I auditioned for a RTS game that actually looks really, really solid. We can you would when you no, don't stop it. I remember that from this game. I keep accidentally eating all the food. Have you ever dreamed so much you could do anything? This chat freaky. This chat is freaky. That's why there is a safe word. No, bunka. Open sesame. Okay, E is eat snacks, chat. Remember, do not hit E. You will eat all your snacks. Oh, no, don't eat all your snacks. I'm so glad, by the way, that like this doesn't happen in real life. Can you imagine being in a situation where you're like in a survival situation, but you keep accidentally stretching wrong and it makes you eat your food? So you're just like walking along, you're just like, God damn it, I just pounded down a sausage, and then I pounded down all my water on accident. Oh, hey, look, ladder. Banana. Banana. You pounded down sausage, yeah. Banana. Yeah, just imagine you just accidentally eat all your food. You're just like, it's gone now. It's gone. I wanted to enjoy that food. Ooh. Banana. Ah, I knew it. Banana. Oops, I ate. Yeah. Oops. There goes my foods. There goes my rations. Guess who's going to starve now? It's me, chat. Congratulations, me. I'm so good at this. Oh, I also got mad. So when I played the original S.T.A.L.K.E.R game, I got mad at the devs because my chat at the time had told me to download mods. And I hadn't realized that it was part of a mod. And so one of my videos for the game got copyright claimed because of the music the mods put in there. And I was like, bruh, this is so stupid. And I went off on like a tangent, and then the game developers were like, hey, we didn't put that in there. And I'm like, oh, my B. Also, the game devs also told me, "Hey, you can lower the difficulty if you're having if you're struggling," because they watched one of my streams, and I'm like, "Ouch." I didn't though. I made it through, chat. I got called out by the devs. Hey, Gene, you suck. Oh, okay. My bad. Sorry. Though I did do one thing that everybody loved.
Any updates? The goat is dead. So are the other scientists.
One sec.
Dead? Oh, God. We're screwed. Get out of there immediately. Stop freaking out and tell me where the data is stored.
Mm-hmm.
His laptop. The coordinates should be in there.
So, chat, here's what I did. I should start playing with controller because I think the movement would be more smooth and be a lot nicer for people who get motion sick. Chat, we're going to start playing with controller. Not today, though, because I'd have to connect it up. Anyways, so what I did do that everybody thought was great was this was back in my heavy drinking days. And there's a character who you meet up, and, like, he wants to take shots with you. And so he started drinking. Well, I took shot for shot with the video game character.
You met Herman's client, yeah? Tell him a new mission means new coordinates. New coordinates means a new bill.
Fight me, Penguin.
The goat is dead. I'm Mr. Client.
Oh, it was great. It was great.
Oh, that's a hell of a mess you got there, boys. Well, screw that smart-ass bastard. I never liked him anyway. Hold on a sec, Mr. Client. Did Herman at least tell you what to do with the coordinates?
Remind me.
Holy fucking cow. Will you let me eat in peace for once? All right. Follow the coordinates and stick your scanner into the ground, and then back off. When it's all done, you pick it up. Got it? If not, that's your problem. I'm not a damn house. So long,
Smelly.
client.
We need a noise for Sniffer. That's a noise. Stinky.
Good thing it's been a walk in the park until now.
First, find the detector.
Nobody.
Scientists ought to have at least one.
Nobody gives. Stop talking. I'm trying to talk to my chat.
If you don't, you might end up joining the Goda.
How?
Find an anomaly. After the emission, it shouldn't be that difficult. Then use the detector's signal to navigate it. If the stalkers have figured it out, I'm sure you can too. After that, attach the artifact to your belt and go plant the scanner. Just try not to get killed in the anomaly. That would be rather embarrassing.
Okay. Sorry, chat. We're back now. What was I gonna say? You think? Oh, yeah. Nobody gives me treats. How am I supposed to respond well to treats if nobody gives me treats? Not this again. What the fuck? Chat, the audio might go weird every once in a while. I don't know what's happening. I think it's like there's a audio issue in game that keeps breaking my audio for some reason. Yep, 1 second. My audio? My mic? My audio or the game audio? Oh, well then tell me. My God, little alien, it's so easy for me to fix. It's just, you wait until like fucking how long have you been here? That loud enough? We good? Treat? I don't want cabbage as a treat. Chat, okay. If ever this is I'm gonna start putting like a repeating message. If ever anything sounds too quiet for you, there it is. Let me know. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Anyways, chat, if anything's ever too quiet for you, let me know. Like, even if you think it's just you, because then I can ask everybody else and we can double check. I'd rather double check than deal with a game that's been too quiet for too long. That was a monster. Hi, Amdis. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. You make Subway cookies. You make homemade Subway cookies, as in like the cookies from Subway, or is that a unique kind of cookie? That's my penis? Why is your penis yelling at me? Tell your penis to relax, please. Don't worry about it. You know what it is? You know what this game is? This game is you having a good day with me. We're gonna hang out together. We're gonna keep walking around. We're gonna experience some things. We're gonna look around. We're just gonna hang out. The game doesn't matter as long as I get to be here with you. Right? I know. Hey, Vanya's. Vanyers. Can you make a treat emo? I stay on TV. Oh, good night.
I'm okay. Is charging always this noisy?
No, but that rock of yours is pretty unusual. Check the scanner quick. Is it charged?
Nope.
Mwah.
I told you to get out of there. Take that or I'll leave without you.
What the fuck? Huh? Don't L. Shush, fight me. Okay, we're gonna try this again. So I think what happened was this caused a reaction of some sorts.
I'm okay. Is charging always this noisy?
No, but that rock of yours is pretty unusual. Check the scanner quick. Is it charged?
Damn it, hit the wrong button.
Nope.
This I play on my PC, but it's also on the Xbox Game Store.
Calm down. I've got some time left. Heading for the next spot.
I like Game Pass, chat. You should definitely try to get Game Pass. You get a lot of good games. I wouldn't say free, but you know they're pretty cheap. Oh, not they're not pretty cheap. You do get them for free, but you don't get to keep them. Shit, what the fuck? What the fuck? Wait, I wonder if this is like the old games. The old games, it used to be that they had super high defense unless you did on the highest difficulty.
Calm down. I've got some time left.
It's a Stalker. Stalker 2. I don't know what you're expecting me to say more than what this game's name is, chat. Hi, Eka. How you doing? I missed you too. Oh, Game Pass is a thing where you pay $10 a month to Xbox or Microsoft. And they, give you a bunch of free games. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the follow. How you doing, Fiona? Good morning, good morning, good morning. How you doing? I got him. Nice. Oh, got you. Thank you for the follow, Fiona. I wonder how many follows we're at. It did get to the point. There's monsters, not dinosaurs. They're radioactive mutant dinosaurs. Not dinosaurs. They're radioactive mutant things. Think Fallout. Think Fallout. Yes, Vanya. Wow, that's incredible. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? Am I getting attacked by a bucket? Hey, Mikazuki!
Time to plant the scanner and get out of here.
I'm getting attacked by a box. But how you doing? 1,200 stream. I don't know what we're gonna do for it. I haven't celebrated 1,100 or 1,000. We've been getting so many new people. It's been hard to keep up. But how you doing? Good morning. How is everybody doing? Welcome, new people. I hope you all have enjoyed the stream so far. Shake it sexual style. You want me to be a white boy with a little bit of swagger, busting it down sexual style? Yo, I'm a white boy with a little bit of swag who busts it down sexual style. All right. Oh. Huh. Let me up there. Let me up there. Damn it. Where am I from? America. We are all living in America. America is wunderbar. We're all living in America. America. God damn it. All right. We're going to be doing this voice for a little while. Enjoy it while you can, chat. Wait a second. What's this? Oh, God, it's moving. Ow. It hurts me. How dare it hurt me? It's so mean. God damn it, god damn it. Man, I don't know what I'm going to be doing in this area. That is German. Ja, ich kann Deutsch sprechen. Natürlich kann ich Deutsch sprechen. Well, Pink, you're not the first person I've recommended that, but also that takes time and effort. And I ain't sure I'm willing to put in time and effort. Oh, wait, am I supposed to be shooting this thing? Maybe not, maybe not, maybe not, maybe not, maybe not. I ain't knowing what's going on. Screw it, I'm leaving this area. Ain't worth it, ain't worth it. Yeah, no, tits breaks too often. Tits breaks too often, ain't worth it. That's why I don't use it much. I've looked into it, tits breaks all the time, and that's why people don't use it as much. But I might find something. I might find an asset and do it for you. I'm just, you know, really, 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 really lazy. All right, here we go. All right, here's something. What is it, Vanya? Don't dude me. Don't dude me. What do you want? Tell me. You ain't been forsaken. You ain't been forsaken. Why are you frustrated? What's going on? Good morning, cat lover.
Herman, Solder's premium coordinates smell like a scam.
His coordinates always work like a charm. But the emission could have thrown a wrench in the works.
We'll find out soon.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good this morning. This morning's a pretty good morning. Ain't too much of an issue anywhere.
Are you there? The place is swarming with soldiers. They're gonna shut everything down and then you'll never get out of the zone.
Just one spot left.
Did you hear me? Drop the damn scanner and come back right
All right, enjoy your bus. Enjoy your bus.
Nowhere to go back to, Herman. Over and out.
All right, enjoy your sleep. Good night. Of course, gotta make sure chat feels safe. This man died pooping, chat. That's gross. Man, I can't believe that man died like that. Insane. Thank you for the look. He's always appreciated. Oh, we've been over encumbered, ain't we? All right, what can we get rid of? We hungry? We eat a little sausage. Man, I am tired, chat. I should have gotten more sleep, but man, I did not sleep well at all. I don't know what it was. Something kept me up. Chat, was it you? Were you keeping me awake at night? One of you harassing me all night, trying to keep me awake? Oh, we can drop Southern Voice. You, me both, Silas. Hi, Silas. Good morning. I'm glad you fell back asleep for a bit. I kept waking up and falling asleep and waking up and falling asleep. Mm-hmm. There we go. It's not fun, is it? It means you probably have something keeping your mind too active. All right, here we go, chat. You ready? Let's see what happens. Bye, Mitchie. Mwah. I'll miss you. I had a lot of fun with you yesterday, by the way. Don't you forget that, okay?
What's that? Some kind of anomaly. Quiet.
No, they're gonna take my thing.
The scanner. Tracing for anomalous activity in radio signals. Situation unclear. You inside. You to the roof. Move out. HQ, move out reporting. Come in, HQ. Damn it. Stalker PDA detected. Someone here!
That's insane. That is insane. What the hell? Grab it, 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 grab it. Get out of there, get out of there, get out of there. And we're running, chat. We're running, we're running, we're running. Oh, that scared me. Yeah, just be chill. Don't say any slurs. Respect everybody else, you know.
Finish him, and let's make tracks.
Yes, no dark jokes. Well, that's no fun. Good morning, Chubbs. Oh, fuck.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Some fireworks, huh?
Who are you?
I'm your guardian angel. Here's your bolt.
Yay.
When I need a bolt.
Take a look around.
Crap.
Yep. Toss it into the anomaly. Then while it resets, run like hell. Got it? Now go.
There we go.
I knew you could do it.
Well, okay, I
That was
didn't really
insane.
know, but I sure hoped you would. How'd you get here without any gear?
I was attacked, man. They took all my stuff.
I got hit in the head. When I woke up, I was in almost nothing but my birthday suit.
You're lucky they didn't kill you right away. You should stop by Zalisa and check up with the doc, man. And talk to the bar.
Nice. They took all of our stuff. We have no guns, no nothing. That's lame. Oh, shit.
Damn it, man.
Where's he going? What are we doing, man? Sir, what are you doing? Why am I following him? Oh, we do have a gun. Do I have any other guns? No, just this one gun. Okay, at least they left me one gun.
You wanted to settle some scores, didn't you? Shit.
Yeah.
The timing couldn't be any worse.
Took all the stuff, though, unfortunately.
Point blank. Then took everything, even the sensors. Fuck.
Yep.
The entire lesser zone is gonna have to clean up this mess.
God, I almost wish I hadn't gone in there earlier. That way I could have more stuff. God, anything. Give me something good. Oh. Alright, let's see if they have the bolt. There's the bolt. Let's see what they got here. Okay. Maybe. It's too small for me to be able to see. That is tiny. Itty bitty. No, 1 second, Chen. I gotta do a thing. I can't believe I forgot to do this until now. Ugh. Yeah, the stalkers are the people who go through here. We're called stalker. The people who like go through this area are called stalkers. They go through the exclusion zone. Who knows what Chubb's calling me? The emote's too small. Be calling me. Oh shit! Those are people. Shoot! You're a clown. All right. Nice and slow. 1, 2. Oh, these are good guys. Oh, they're not good guys. Well, I made a mistake, chat. All right, how are we going to handle this? Silly puppy. Oh, shit. Jeez, he can see me, but I can't see him. Now, where's that fair? I know he's out there somewhere. Up. Where are they? I hear him. Ah, we did it! We did it! Woo! Proud of you, chat. Thank you for joining me on that one. You did great. You did great. You did great. You did amazing. Mwah. You all have been a fantastic help. Y'all distracted him while I killed him. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of all of you. So very, very, very much so. Good job, chat. Do y'all feel like you contributed? I hope you do. Where'd the last one go? There he is. You did amazing. Y'all did so well.
You fucked them up pretty good, eh? I didn't expect anyone to step in for me. That's rarer than Mama's beats around here. Normally, folks in the zone just walk past other people's troubles. They've got their own shit to deal with. You are new around here, ain't ya?
Yeah, we are.
I am, to be honest.
Yeah, figured as much. But you have definitely taken out a few scumbags in your day. Thanks for having my back. I might be pushing my luck here, but could you lend me a hand with something else?
Yeah, what's up?
All right, let's hear it.
Echo, you're doing so good. I'm proud of you.
House, not far from here. Squint, Richter, Gloomy, and myself. Squint is the leader. Richter is his right-hand man. And we just joined a group. Squint and Richter took off somewhere in the morning. And then me and Gloomy got ambushed by those bandits. I managed to make a tactical retreat, but the bastards took Gloomy. I don't
Enjoy your dinner, and I appreciate the lurk so very, very much.
We need to rescue him and make those thugs regret it.
Bye-bye.
Gloomy will find a way to return the favor.
I'll do it.
All right, I'll do it.
For real? Dude, you rock.
You can break me instead. I mean, what?
They're empty-handed. I've got a stash close by. It's got everything you need. A gun, some ammo, the whole shebang. Whatever you don't use,
Bunk.
consider it yours. Just make sure you've got Gloomy's back, alright?
Alright. Alright, do you have anything good in here? Sir, let me rob you. Can I rob you, sir? Morning, Snowy. How you doing? EP, go back to bed then. Good night. How do I get in here? There it is. Chat, do you want one shoe? Chat, the shoe. Chat, what do you think? What do you think? Oh, the shoe moves. The shoe moves, chat. Incredible, incredible. Next gen gameplay. That's a different shoe. I want a game that is so immersive that it's stupid, okay? I want a game where I can find shoes, just random shoes sitting around, and put them on. Roomie, yeah. You don't know. It could be a fancy shoe. It might be a more comfortable shoe. I think it'd be the stupidest thing in the entire world if I could put on the shoes, but I want it. I want to be able to put on random shoes. That is the goal of gaming, chat. Wearing every shoe in the game. Good morning, Em. How you doing? Yes, exactly. The shoe isn't my size, and I would still put it on. I would legitimately love a game where most of the armor doesn't fit you because it's not your size. Thank you for the follow, Roomie. Welcome. Thank you for being 1,201. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you enjoy your time while you're here. There's something out there, chat. There it is.
Did you make it? The mutants didn't get you, did they?
Oh, that sounds awful. Hope you're okay. But good morning, Rumi. How you doing?
Try not to hit Gloomy, alright? He may be a son of a bitch, but he's still my bro.
He's still my bro. Do not die from heat. Heat you bad. Heat is bad. Okay, 1, 2. Oh, that guy's glitching out a little bit. What's up? What's up? There it is. Shoot. Oh, there he is. Okay, there's one. Oh, sorry, Chab. I'm locked in right now. Ah. So focused, so focused, so focused, so focused, so focused. There's one more, there's one more. Where is he? Why would you tell me where you're hiding? Homie. Think. I'm hiding here. Really? Really? Thank you for telling me. Thank you for letting me know. Appreciate it. Wacky, man. It's such a weird thing to call out, too. Why would you ever call that out? Why would you ever in your entire life be like, I'm over here, I'm hiding? I understand, you know, fire in the hole, I'm taking cover, that kind of thing. I'm hiding? I mean, hey, it's him. It's him. He can do what he wants.
Well, who sent you? Richter or that asshole Zorik?
Have a good one, Rumi. Have a good one.
No one sent me.
Mm-hmm.
Today is your lucky day.
Did I ask for your help? Or do you just have a death wish?
Thank you for the hydrate. Cheers.
Expecting a reward? Check the cogs.
And stretch.
Just glad they left me my suit. They didn't take the detector. Those scumbags think they're too good to dive into anomalies looking for artifacts. Easier to shake down a loner on his way out. Assholes.
That'll do. Hand it over.
Here you go. There's an anomaly in the cave. Appeared right after the emission. Maybe the detector will help you sniff something out. Thanks for the help, Stalker. But don't count on anyone standing up for you if you run into trouble. You'll be better off that way.
All right, here we go.
Stupid asshole! Get over here!
Well, why is that guy so shitty? He's so mean. Ooh, night cookie, you be good. Okay, let's see what we got, chat. Let's go through our items. Broken shotgun, broken shotgun, broken shotgun. Can I repair you? Is there a way to repair? I don't have a way to repair yet. Perfect. Okay. Gun. Gun. That one's 100%. Pistol suppressor. Boop. Perfect. We have plenty of ammo. These are all pretty much useless, but hey, at least they'll sell for something, right? Eat a little sausage. And we're good to go. I appreciate the lurkies. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, here we go. Taking that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Chat, does this game make sense to you yet? Are y'all understanding it? Oh, that's worrying. No, brain too small? That's fine. That's fine. I suppose there's not much to understand. Here somewhere. Okay, where is it? Where is it? I'm looking for an anomaly. I don't know why I can't find it. It should be here. Damn it. Okay, it's here. Where? Hello, Pixel Integer. Literate. Hello, Pixel Literate. How you doing? Thank you for the hydrate. I know it's here somewhere. Where the fuck is it? Ah. It is here somewhere. Oh, a little stretch? Sorry, let me do a little stretch. I'm looking for a little anomaly. Chat, you'll see it when you see it. There it is! Ah. Thank you for the follow, Chub Croco. Chub Croco 2. Why is there a second Chub Croco? All right. That's insane. Okay. We did it, chat. We made it through. Let's see what this does. Increases bleeding resistance. Nice. I'll keep it. I can't believe that took that long to find. I was expecting it to be in the anomaly, not on the edge of the anomaly, so, you know, might be. I guess I only have myself to blame for that one. I can't tell which one the real one is, though, chat. They're identical. Which one is it, chat? Who's the real one? All right, Vanya, pull up the ban hammer. We gotta ban one of these two. We gotta kill one of them. Vanya, Chubbs, tell me something that only the real Chubbs would know. Tell me something only the real Chubbs would know. No, come on, Chubbs, tell me a secret fact. Tell me something that only you would know that I would know too, okay? When's my birthday? When's my birthday, Chubbs? Chub Cronco, what is the color of my eyes? Just answer that question, Chub Cronco. What's the color of my eyes? No, incorrect. Chub 2. What is 2 plus 2? Four? I don't know. Chub 2 has the most right answers so far. We're gonna try again. Okay. Chub Cronco, what is my favorite soda? Sorry, Chub 1. What's my favorite soda? Do you think they're bad or good? Incorrect. All right, Chub 2. What did Chub Cronco just answer? Yeah, you did. See, that's 2 right answers for Chub Cronco 2. I don't know. I think Cronco 2 might be the real one, chat. I'm kidding. No. No, no, no. You're not allowed to leave. You're legally not allowed to leave. I will come to your house and fight you. Chat, are these bad guys or good guys? Okay, it seems like they're fine.
Let me cheer you guys up. One stalker asks another, how's Alex doing? I haven't seen him in ages. Oh, you know, he's been all around the place. I mean, that is your work again.
EP.
I'm looking for solder. Nope. Talk to Gaffer. That's him over there.
What do you want? Sit down and stay out of sight.
You're Anki Chump Kronko?
Three of my men never reported back from their overnight patrol around the Lesser Zone. We found their bodies by the old bridge.
Hey, soldier, over here. What do you call 3 dead wardens up the zone's ass?
Gronk, go fight. Gronk, go fight.
A trader who goes by Hamster is peddling this service weapon that belonged to one of those wardens. He got it from Squint.
Apologies, Captain, but Zalicia is a free trade zone. We have an agreement with Korshinov.
Where is Squint?
The zone has its share of secrets. Who are we to meddle in its designs?
Playing a wizened stalker sage, are you?
Good night, Silas. You sleep well, okay? Chubb,
There for sure.
if you have an issue with it, you can tell me. But don't try to order me around, Chubb.
Is that the stalker way now?
I'd appreciate that.
I suppose it's not that simple.
All right. If you won't tell me, others will. Seize them.
Oh, here we go.
Nobody's going anywhere.
If you don't want the innocent to suffer, find me the culprit.
Well then, in times of war, the law falls silent.
Yeah, I agree. We've had the issue before in the past. So,
Must be new here.
no alt accounts.
Come over here. Let's have a chat. That's how we're all here in Zalicia. Those maniacs are gonna drink all my vodka in the street.
If anyone
I don't know,
asks,
but they're banned
I'm at
now.
home and busy.
Anyone at all?
Anyone.
Don't buy into that whole dog and pony show, rookie. Gaffer's been uppity, cause sort of lets him. Of course enough was here instead of him. Would have been standing
Yeah,
against the wall.
it's probably time to update my rules.
The captain prefers a more diplomatic approach.
So, who should I ask about solder?
Try Zod. The ward can find anyone
Good.
you want as long as you can cut a deal with them. And you're okay with their methods. Or you could ask Gaffer. Just give him some time to get to his house. He's an easygoing guy. He usually helps rookies out, but he's had to deal with a year's worth of crap today. See ya.
Yeah.
Good luck. First drinks on the house if you need it. And I get the feeling you're gonna need it.
I don't feel like running errands.
You still smell like the mainland, tough guy. All right. There's a guy kind of like you.
Sure.
All right. Yeah. I don't know. I'm the only thing I'm worried about is if it's somebody else who's a regular here. I don't know if it's banned their phone number or anything. But I think you have to ban phone numbers.
Hey, Stalker! Come over here
here, rookie. We need to talk.
But I am not sure.
Here's the deal. I'm ready to pass some stalker wisdom on to you. Right here, right now. And totally free of charge. Interested?
Sure.
Who could turn down such a generous offer? I'm all ears.
Back on the mainland, Mom and Dad were the most important people in the world, right? But here in the zone...
Chubb, are you still here, by the way?
...and a trader. And their love comes with a price tag. Loot or coupons. Got it?
I was hoping for something a little more practical.
You think you're clever, huh? Here are the coordinates for our tech.
I have a feeling that Chubb made his own alt account.
Chat them up.
And he might have been banned on both of them.
If not, check in with Warlock for a gig. He's usually got something going. One more thing. If you find yourself in a dust-up with any of the factions, pay their boss a visit. Conflict is a part of life in the zone, but there's always a way to resolve it. Always better off with a lousy peace than an awesome firefight. Get it? Anyway.
So I'm gonna temporarily unban Chubb Cronco too.
Just don't bother me again.
And if they come back, we'll know.
That's it. Finally. Settled my tower.
We'll update the rules. I don't know what I'm doing now, chat. I wasn't paying attention. Da 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 da. Chubb's died, chat. Rip Chubb. Rip Chubb.
Shut up. Hey, you! Loner! Come and help some good fellows. Make yourself a dude who likes free stuff. Valak Lumo.
Oh, welcome back, Chubb. Chubb, was that alt account you?
And instead of paying me up, he's poking me with a gun. Go and have a nice talk with him, would ya?
My mother's German.
Make him tell you where the stash is. Got it? Cause I'm about to have a fucking meltdown.
I can decide it for myself.
Okay. We banned the alt account, whoever made Chubb Cronco 2, which I wonder if that banned somebody else from the stream. That was just the main concern. Oh, bleeding out is so stupid. Don't let me bleed out. Come on. I don't think so. No clue. Yeah. It was kind of funny to me.
Hey, you!
Skip, skip, skip.
I can decide it for myself.
Whatever. Shoot him!
One second, one second, one second. Oh, why did it not reload? Oh, fuck. That makes sense. Shit, where is he? Come on, come on. Got him. Ah, there's so many of them. Ah, fuck. All right, you be good, you be good. Damn it! I was doing so good. Mm-hmm. Reload. There we go. Tries again.
Shut up, you pussy. This sucker screwed you out of your money. Hey, you! Loner! Come and help some... A dude...
I can decide it for
Here we go, here we go.
Whatever.
Thank you, Butt Goose.
No bloody problem. Shoot at his feet!
Come on, come on, come on, come on. Sounds good, sounds good. Oh, shit, it is almost end of stream chat. All right, we're gonna have to find somebody to raid into in just a sec. Oh, okay, we're gonna find someone to raid into. Thank you for letting me know what the time is. Hi, buddy, I gotta get ready for work. Remember, there will be no afternoon stream today, so I really appreciate y'all coming by. So we gotta find somebody to raid into very, very, very quickly. Let me look at something real quick. Create a dashboard. Perfect. Okay. We'll raid into Leia Panthera. They're doing just chatting. Okay. Y'all are missing. Say hi for me. Be good. Lucky raid. Okay. Mwah, 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 mwah. Bye bye, chat. Love you all so amazing. You're amazing. Bye. Bye 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 bye.